welcome back to episode 9 of the podcast. Let me tell you, it's been a pretty emotional one and quite a few tears. In today's episode, we talk about the highs and lows of our recent weekend and our very first What the Brand press day.
My 3-year-old daughter gets us talking about our very special capsule wardrobe, and we also discuss with you the importance of adult friendships.
We also discuss Mental Health Awareness Month and some key resources and people that have really helped us and inspired us recently. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please do like, subscribe, follow, comment, get in touch with us over on at Twinset Unzipped, at What the Brand, and even at We Are Twinset.
Enjoy the show.
Hi, Phil.
Hello.
How are you?
I am all good. Less bunged up this week, I think.
I feel like it's been going on for years.
It really, really has. And I actually think a lot of people on Instagram, especially if you've heard me so bunged up, you can all relate to it because apparently it's a thing at the moment. So luckily not ill. Actually haven't been ill for 2 weeks, but just less bunged today, which is fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. I'd like to give you an apology.
Tell me why.
You apologised to me last week.
Yes.
And I feel the need to apologise to you and the audience.
What have you done wrong?
It's about Adele.
You love her. You appreciate her.
I listened to the carpool karaoke of Adele the night before last. I was blown away.
She touched you.
I'd like to go to Vegas. I'd like to see her live. Would you like to come with me?
I will be there.
Okay. Let's do
so
it.
her music, you felt it. I don't think you had appreciated her music before.
I don't think I saw the way. Maybe it was just her and James Corden, but the way they were singing and her like it really. I was eating my words.
And I feel like you like that whole Essexy thing anyway.
I really do.
So I can imagine that's what you saw her personality.
I saw her personality.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I think I was just thinking a ballady slow
yes,
song.
But she's not.
But
she's hilarious.
It wasn't her.
Yeah.
So everyone, I'm eating my words.
I accept your apology.
Okay, good.
And I'm really happy that you now appreciate Adele.
Okay, good.
We can move on.
We're going to move on to my negativity.
Uh-oh.
Because I put some negativity out there into the world last week.
You always try and practice what you preach.
I know. And I shared a quote on Instagram that said, one day I was born, then everything bothered me, and now we're up to date. Okay? And I manifested myself a really shit weekend, which I'm going to share. And it's because I was really, really negative, and I'm annoyed at myself because it's very unlike me. And although it was a lull, I shouldn't have done it.
Well, listen, we all have those days and we have those weeks, but maybe you didn't need to.
I didn't need to put it out there to the world.
Yes.
So Lenny got sent home. I had that dreaded call from nursery on a Friday. He was vomiting. Great.
I have to add, the minute Sarah got off the phone, she puts the phone down. She was like, oh my God. Lenny's been sick.
I know you're going to say.
Can't tell you how happy I am. It's Friday. I've got 48 hours. It's the weekend. He can be back on Monday. That was the first thing that came to her mind.
Any other day, even if they're only sick once, you've got to wait 48 hours. It's very annoying. So I was delighted he was sick on a Friday. Anyway, so he was ill. So that obviously, that comes with its own stresses. Craig had been ill at the beginning of the week. Then he was bedbound the whole weekend, not being sick. It was very full on. Obviously, I had to cancel our plans. No one wanted to see us because obviously Lenny had been sick, Craig wasn't well, and it was just intense. Those weekends, the weather was bad. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't go anywhere, and I was just like, whoa, caught my finger in the drawer. That's also bad omen.
Ouch.
I know, look.
Oh, thanks for putting your finger up at me.
No, seriously. Anyway, very quickly, just ending the tail end of Sunday when I was at my wit's end, I decided Sunday afternoon, I take the kids to Smythe's. I thought, big mistake. I thought, I'm just going to get them something small. I wanted to fill the time. They'd actually been quite well behaved for 10 minutes. So
you wanted to reward them.
Anyway, so my mum came with me. Went there, killed like a good hour, bought Lenny like a small remote control car, got Edie a doll thing. Anyway, got home. I said, Mum, you unwrap the toy. I'm going to put dinner on. What did she do? She cut the wire to the car.
God.
So the car didn't work.
Oh.
So the wrath that ensued from Lenny of offering him a reward for his 10 minutes of good behaviour, then ruining said reward, I think it went on.
I feel sorry for your mum.
She felt so bad. She was like, I'm so sorry. I can't even go back to the shop because it's closed. And when it's just like, that's just it.
Was he a nightmare?
And then it was Monday and I was happy again.
And they were gone.
They were gone.
I still my children only went back to school yesterday.
You
so
survived.
That was the longest Easter ever. I'm really sorry you had a very challenging weekend. I'm hoping that next weekend is going to be lighter and
Well, I'm never going to put
you.
negativity in the world again.
Don't let it
I want to hear about
you.
your posy weekend.
I had a nice positive weekend. So obviously, whenever you're listening to this, it was the marathon last Sunday. And Alex, my husband, from last year decided he wanted to run it for the first time. He's fairly fit, I'll give him that. He was always in the gym.
He's a runner as well now.
He's a bit of a runner, but he's very tall and muscly. So actually, he's going to love I've said that. But he's learned that actually
he's very tall, muscly, sexy, hunky, gorgeous.
But to be a runner, you can't be those things. He felt quite heavy on the run. Anyway. So he had trained with about 4 of his friends for running it. It became an obsession.
Yeah.
He had a time he wanted to run it in, and then he ran the half marathon, which I think was in January or February. Anyway, did it in an amazing time, but completely ruined his knee. And that was it. He could not run. He could not even run for 10 minutes without being in so much pain. So from like February, anyway, so then that was it. He wasn't running the marathon. And luckily he had a ballot space. So he didn't have the pressure of knowing he was running it for a charity. So for about 3 months, we just didn't speak about the marathon. He wasn't doing it.
I feel like deep down, you know your husband. You thought he had that in him, that he was like...
Yes, but also running the marathon is a huge deal. You have to train for it. You have to work up to it. You can't just the week before decide you're going to do it, unless you're Alex Ross. So the Sunday before, he goes to the gym. He does a 5K run. He comes home. He says, knee's fixed. I'm running the marathon. Alex, you can't do it. You haven't trained in 3 months. You can't. So I'm doing it. I don't care what time I'm doing it in. It's not going to be a competition. It's not going to be a race. I just want to know. I want to tick it off the list. So off he goes. And Alex being Alex, zero preparation. I mean, he packed his bag, I think 9 o'clock the night before. I think he had like one little sachet of porridge left. He didn't even know what, like, pasta, yes, but wasn't really kind of part of his routine. Yeah. Like, some people are so organized. They'll have massages, they'll have cupping, they'll have acupuncture. I mean, Alex literally turned up and ran it. And I was so proud of him. And also, as you will confirm, I'm not the most emotional person. I feel the emotion, but like tears don't come that frequent, which is weird because when I was younger, I used to cry all the time. But I just felt overwhelmingly like emotional and proud of him. And obviously he had his AirPods in. So he did say to me, if you want to call me and check in, just call me, because he can obviously just pick up and say hi. And I think he was at maybe, coming up to like half an hour left. And I called him and he just picked up and he said, hi, I'm okay, but I'm not going to speak long, bye. And just... And my heart, when your heart like kind of, I felt so emotional and excited and proud. And it just made me realize, as couples, we go day by day, we kind of get the kids ready for school, we drop them, we go to work, we come home, we have dinner. I mean, we're terrible where in the evenings we just don't see each other because I did that
on purpose last night, by the way.
But it's a habit that we need to try and make more time for each other. But what I think I learned from this weekend, it's, feeling so proud of your other half. It sparks the spark again. Sparks the spark.
Do you know what? It's the whole the marathon environment. I've been a few times to watch different friends, and Craig did the half marathon, and that I know is not the same as the marathon, but how the atmosphere, and also you feel so inspired by all the people there, and then they are in pain, they are being pushed out of their comfort zone, and to see that they're doing that, like, it is really admirable.
And then you see
so if you want to get the spark back,
tell your husband to run the marathon. But you see some of these people that literally have just they've come off the mall and they're walking back to Green Park Station, and then it's like they've just gone and done the food shop.
What about all the people that did it? Alex sent those photos. I was very invested in Alex. Like, I was so proud, wasn't I? I was like checking in. I was like, tell me he's okay. And obviously sent pictures to our group of like an armadillo and like the guy in the golf costume. How these people run for like incredible charities. Like, it's just hats off to them.
Absolutely amazing. So anyone that ran the marathon, and Alex, I know he didn't run it for charity, but he then did promote all of his friends' amazing charities.
And he's got his medal.
He does, which is in Alfie's room. And now he wishes that he did do it for a cause. But he's promised me he won't do it again, although he probably will. Yeah. But if he does, he will definitely be doing it for an amazing cause. So that was the weekend, which was very inspiring. And to continue the inspirational feelings and all those good, positive messages, we had an absolute career highlight last week. It was our first ever What the Brand press day.
So for those of you who don't know, a press day is where a brand will showcase their new collection. So for us, it was Spring Summer 23. We had a sit-down breakfast full of content creators, stylists, magazine editors and feature writers, and we were celebrating our new collection. What was crazy for us was the fact that as stylists, you know, we shared our story. That's what we did kind of before kind of going on this crazy path. We would go to other brands' press days. We would view everyone else's collections. We would then feature them on the TV and magazines. And the fact that we were back 360 to having our very own brand with our very own press day felt beyond overwhelming, didn't it?
It was, as I think you said this before, like a out-of-body experience. You know, manifesting something and how the three of us, Sarah, myself and Nikki, when we launched the brand, we knew that we were creating something special, but we really did not know how quick it was all going to happen for us. And obviously we still have so much more to go, to do, to achieve. But last year, we all said we would love to do an event. Like how amazing that would be. And obviously, as Sarah said, like we have been to so many huge brands, events, launches, and sat there and thought, imagine if this was us one day. Imagine if everyone has come to see our brand. And I remember the three of us having that chat, like that would be such an achievement. We manifested it, we dreamt it, we visualized it, and it came real yesterday. And the three of us just took a moment when everyone was in the room and you heard all the hustle and bustle and everyone was chatting and the energy and the vibe in the room was so lovely. And the amount of times we've been to events where perhaps, you know, the vibe is a bit dry.
Well, you know, we always say we're lucky because we walk in together. So
yes.
We never have that awkwardness because we have each other.
Yeah.
But you can walk into these events and like everyone's random and no one's chatting and it's really got that awkward vibes. Whereas the energy in the room, it was such an inspiring group of women.
Yeah.
And everything was perfect. The sun was shining and it's shit the rest of the week apparently. It was just, everything was perfect, wasn't it?
And we just took that moment to just realize, wow, this is amazing. And like, yeah, I mean, it makes me emotional thinking about it now because I think this is what we always say to each other. We're so excited for what's to come. And that's the most unbelievable, exciting feeling to have. That warmth, that like knowing power. But it was really true for us yesterday. And so we wanted to share it because we just felt, you know, you can, especially when you're building a business, you're going to your day job day in, day out. It can get a little bit monotonous and it can get a bit the same, or the struggles become really hard. And I think just anyone listening to this, just wanting to hear a little bit of kind of leap of positive chat. Yesterday was a really powerful day for us. We worked really, really hard to get to that point, and we're so excited for what's still to come. But just wanted to share how amazing it was, as Sarah said, to be at our own press day and feel pretty proud of ourselves, basically.
And just following on from what you said about working really hard, you know, we're 2 years in, 2.5 nearly. We never would have been able to do this after 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, this was always a goal with so many other factors coming into it, and we worked hard to get there. And I think everything happens in its own time.
Yeah.
It felt right to do it now. So, you know, whether we do one for autumn, winter or not, it might not happen, but it's that whole kind of back to that overnight success thing, just working really hard. You go with the ups and the downs and trust the process.
Absolutely. So the other day I get dressed, I come out of my bedroom and Ava is on my bed and she looks at me and she says, "Mummy, you always wear that." And I looked at her.
What were you wearing?
And I said, I was wearing a striped t-shirt with jeans.
Oh, what are you wearing?
Yeah. And I looked at her and I said, "Yes, I do. It's called a capsule wardrobe."
You're like, let me tell you about capsule wardrobe, honey.
And it led me on to discuss
with Ava.
Not with Ava, because it went straight over her 3-year-old brain. But in the office, I brought it up and we spoke about the fact that, yes, we perhaps do wear similar ilk of styles and capsule pieces and basics, and we are really proud of that. So we don't actually often, although fashion is such a huge thing about us, and of course we always share like business chat, and we're on episode 9, we haven't really kind of gone into a fashion chat. So we thought we would do a little section today discussing our capsule wardrobe, our must-have pieces, why we always go to those pieces. And I think for me, it's a bit of a safety thing.
100%.
You know, we always plan, we've said this before in previous episodes, we always plan our outfits the night before, but you get a little bit, I'm going to use the word lazy, and I don't mean this in a negative way. It's more just as we've got older, we've learned what our style is. So we kind of have variations of the same thing that we know we feel comfortable in. We know ticks all the boxes, it works, we'll be comfortable, it's practical. And I guess that's how we've developed our capsule wardrobe, right?
And also, I think the point you said as well, when you get older, I do think, cut to 15 years ago when we were working in an office and we were on store appointments and we'd be going to events after work, we did wear fringe jackets. We did wear, beaded tops because we were younger and we were more
experimental.
Perhaps more experimental, and it served a different purpose. Whereas now I feel like comfort is so important to us. I mean, I'm wearing jeans now, so are you. Are yours digging in? Because mine are.
All the way up the nin.
Literally very uncomfortable. And I thought to myself, why would I sit doing a podcast wearing very tight jeans? But I think comfort and it's the feel good factor. It's the comfort and it's the feel good. And we're very lucky we get given a lot of stuff. We have our own brand, which we have a lot of stuff from. But we will always gravitate towards those pieces that suit our style most. And that comes with age. For me, it's a white T-shirt. I live in a white T-shirt. What the brand of? I wear it under blazers. I layer it under jumpers. It's my go-to. Like, I will often just base my outfit around a white T-shirt. I think it's just something that I've always felt comfortable in. I love tucking it in. And that is kind of, I would say, probably my most worn piece in my wardrobe. What would you say yours is?
Well, Ava would probably tell you it's a striped tee, which I would agree with, but it also depends on the season. So although we're trying to bring the spring vibes to us, although they're not quite here yet, I'm trying to be springy. Yeah. So, my go-to are like jeans, a striped tee, a blazer, and I'm gone.
Literally. And also those neutral colours, I think, as well. I mean, I used to, back in the day, I would wear a red coat, like a green, I would be much more loud. And now I can't even imagine the thought. I think there's a time and place for colour on holiday and stuff like that. Yeah. But I just don't think, I just prefer to keep it all, that capsule wardrobe, that mix and match. So everything goes with each other. And I think that is key.
But often we get asked, how do you create a capsule wardrobe? So I want to ask you, let's try and come up with 5 items that we would recommend everyone should have in their capsule wardrobe. And remember, these capsule pieces, they are outfit builders. Mm-hmm. So you don't necessarily have to always wear them together as an outfit. We do because it's easy dressing and it's simple.
You would inject your trend pieces or older styles in.
So let's tell the followers what you need to have in your capsule wardrobe.
So I'm going to start with 2. I'm going to say a white T-shirt, and I'm going to say a great pair of black trousers that are slightly cropped, so you can wear them with a trainer or a flat shoe, and you can wear them with a boot underneath. You can dress them up with a heel, but they are your go-to for office, even for weekend with a T-shirt, and for going out.
I would say a striped tee because it goes with everything. It elevates your outfit.
Always chic.
And very, very chic, and very Parisian, which we all want to feel. I would also say a blazer. We tend to like a more slouchy, oversized, boxier blazer. And the reason why blazers are so good is you can, as you said before, dress up and dress down. And I think a key thing with a capsule wardrobe is having those pieces that can be so versatile. So you can wear them to work the weekend with trainers, or put on a heel and then wear them to the bar out for dinner. The 5th one, what would we say?
I'm going to say a great pair of jeans. I'm going to say that a higher rise, because I think as we've got older, it's definitely more flattering than a low rise, which we've definitely experimented with recently and felt really freaked out with them being
just
low.
A lot of kind of space here to fill.
And also tucking in lows, no good. And also, again, I think it's got to be slightly cropped. I love a wide leg, but I don't feel that could be that smart, whereas I feel slightly cropped, straight leg. I'm going to say the Levi's. I'm putting it out there. I'm naming the ultimate jean. The Levi's 501. So good. great for different body shapes.
Yeah.
Wash well, cropped at the leg.
And they're a stiff denim, which we like.
We do.
And then obviously, as I said before, those are our 5 kind of must-haves that have just come to our heads right now. But depending on the season, you'd have a different coat or
a I think other things that are like nods, like a great trench, a cashmere jumper,
depending on the
white
season.
shirt, maybe like a great LBD. You know, all those kind of classic colours, those staples that, like we said, you do mix and match that we gravitate towards and we feel good in, and that's the importance of when you wear your clothes, about feeling good.
And if you're like us and you're rushing and you just don't have any time in the morning to think about your outfits, plan them the night before, have a look at your wardrobe, create your own capsule
and even
wardrobe.
if it's something you always wear, the most successful people, they wear a variation of the same thing time and time again. Doesn't require any effort.
There you go.
Top tip. Okay, so on to a topic that seems to be very enjoyed by the listeners: influenced influencers.
What have you bought this week, Sarah Ellis?
So mine was inspired by Ella, gorgeous Ella, my cousin, who popped to the office last week. I could not get enough of her scent. Everywhere she went, she left a waft of just stunning smell. As we've shared many times before, we are scent obsessed. I follow people around swimming pools in foreign countries. I've ran around people in Phoenix, Brent Cross to know what scent they're wearing. I feel like you're a washing person and I'm a perfume person.
Just on the washing chat, I just have to add, a lovely follower messaged me a couple of days after episode 8 and told me it's all about Daz. So you know how I told you that Lauren had mentioned that Daz is the one who has Daz?
Yeah.
We're all apparently not living our best washing life without Daz. She said the smell of Daz is going to make your washing incredible. She said people have asked her, how do you wash your clothes? It smells so fresh. So there you go, guys.
So Ella was wearing something I'd never heard of. It's called Ormondo Jane Levant.
Where do you buy such a thing?
Online. It was quite expensive. It was £125.
Wow!
I know, but the second I got home, I had to order it straight away because I couldn't stop thinking. I do think it's one of those that might potentially smell different on different people because I think it smells different on me.
It reminds me of a hotel I've been to.
Do you think I smell nice?
It's quite a nostalgic smell, which I love about scents. I do really like it. It doesn't smell like Ella, so it's one of those molecule-y things.
Also, your nose was bunged quite a lot on Friday. Anyway, so if anyone else has bought this before, I'd like some feedback. Ormondo Jane Levant, but I really like it, and I was in the market for a new scent.
Oh, I love it. So I was influenced by our lovely friend Lily Pebbles. She shared we have actually been chatting quite a bit about hair growth in DMs. Kind of been sharing tips, and I saw that she had ordered a hair oil.
I keep seeing this
from
everywhere.
A brand called Hair Syrup. So obviously I went on straight away. And if you haven't seen on TikTok, rosemary oil is the one. It's apparently meant to make your hair luscious and long, which I'm all here for. I'm here for hearing all of these tips and tricks on how to grow thicker hair. Hair syrup, and it's called Grosemary.
I like that.
And on ASOS, guys, it's 13% off, so it's now £28. So I ordered it a couple of days ago. It's yet to come. I will let you know how I get on, but I'm very excited to use it. So thanks, Lily, for that tip.
My only concern about hair oil is the grease factor.
Well, so I imagine you do it in the evening and then you wash it off.
I know, but getting oil out your hair is quite hard. It probably requires a couple of washes.
How many times do you do? You just do one wash, don't you?
If I wash my hair every few days, I do one shampoo. Do you do more?
Well, because I try and wash it every 4 days, so I do 2 washes. Yeah,
always, and doesn't make your hair too soft.
Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. But I was always told your hair's not clean unless you wash it twice.
Never been told that before.
Ah, well, there you go.
Okay.
So, guys, last week Sarah and I experienced 2 very separate, different experiences with our friends, and it made us realise how important. Well, we know how important friendships are. But as we said many a times, everyone's very busy at the moment, work, home, kids, everything. Sometimes you do forget, friendships can come and go, or you realise you haven't checked in with that person in a couple of weeks.
Or even if you've thought about them, not let them know, because that's also key.
Yes. But we had 2 different experiences this week where we wanted to share it with you. And Should I go first?
Go for it.
So obviously, as lots of you know, I've been very poorly the last 3 weeks. A horrendous cold. Haven't been able to shift it. And I messaged Nikki, our lovely Nikki from What the Brand, dearest friend Nikki, who is the kindest soul. She is a very kind, caring person. I messaged her to say, I need your advice. You're never ill. You never have a cold. Have you ever known her to have a cold?
I've only known her when she had COVID and she turned off her phone for 2 days and I thought something had happened to her because I've never, in all the years I've known her.
And that was like 2.5 years ago. She had COVID right at the beginning. She has not been ill. And I said, what do you take? What are your supplements? Anyway, so we had this chat. And then a couple of days later, she comes into the office and she gets out of her bag Manuka honey and she puts it on my desk. And I just, I was going to say to you guys that was like such a nothing thing for her, but it wasn't, because that's just so her. She's so kind and caring, and she did think about it. And it made me realize how important it is to have those friends around you. And I wrote it on Instagram and she messaged me to say it made her cry. Surround yourself with people that make you feel like sunshine. And I just think as the older we get, the busier that we get, the more noise that comes towards us. It's having that circle around you, and it doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, 10. The less, in my opinion, the better, the more quality friendship. But just how important it is to have those people around you that really care about you. You care for each other. When you have a really amazing friendship and connection with someone, there's just nothing better, is there?
And I think it's also not taking it for granted. Like you said, you can be so busy and life gets in the way that unfortunately that time with friends, which I think, I probably speak on behalf of both of us, I think we really need in life. Some people, I think I might be slated for saying this, I think a lot of men don't have that need to be surrounded by friends all the time. I think women, and maybe it's the women that I'm connected to, really feed off female friendships. Really, we'll go out for dinners and we'll be like, I feel elated after seeing those people. Or we had a coffee last week with Self Care Pod, who we love and we're going to collaborate with. We came away and we were like, what a great,
we had a
great
spring in our step.
We did. And just surround yourself with those inspiring people is really uplifting. Anyway, so my story is I was at the David Lloyd last week. I was having a solo coffee. My kids were in kids club. I had 20 minutes to myself, and one of my oldest, bestest friends, Emma, walked past. She'd been at the gym, and we were like, hi. It was totally impromptu. We're like, should we have a coffee? We had the most epic 20-minute catch-up. I hadn't seen her in so long. Life gets in the way. Like you said, kids, we hadn't seen each other in too long. And we just quickly spoke about life and everything. And when you talk to your best friend and it's just so easy and there's no judgment and it's just a really feel-good chat. And we told our husbands afterwards, we just had the best 20 minutes. And they were like, we don't understand. That's so weird. And she left me a voice note afterwards saying, you fill my cup.
I love
and
that.
Exactly how I felt. Like she made me feel so good in that moment. Yeah. And I want to do that more. I want to have that impromptu coffee, that impromptu dinner, that let's go out for an hour, let's go for a walk. I think it's really important to not let that side go of you, if that's what you really need, to not put yourself at the bottom of the list, to fill your cup.
And we've all felt it. We'll have dinner in the diary with friends on a Thursday night, and then you finish work, you get the kids to bed, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. And then you go and you come home and you feel so alive and rejuvenated, and you've loved kind of catching up with your friends. And I think, it's just a nice little reminder for us anyway. So we wanted to share it with you guys as well.
Moving on to our last topic of today's episode. It's May the 1st and it's the start of Mental Health Awareness Month. Something that is really important to us, and something that as mums, business women, we feel really passionately about sharing those things that are helping us along our journeys, helping us in those moments where, like so many people, we do struggle.
Yes, and as Sez said, it's definitely something that we absolutely want to address in our way. So at the end of every episode, we're going to touch on it, share any tips, advice, and share knowledge, basically. So this lovely book here is a book that I keep in Alfie's room. It was sent by a lovely girl called Esther, who made these books on behalf of her sister Rebecca, who tragically took her life. And these books are amazing. And I do.
What's it called?
So this one is called Be Proud of Who You Are. And then we have another one, I think it's called I Will and I Can and I Will. And I just think how amazing it is that our children have access to books like this. But it also makes me, I think the reason why I get so emotional is that I'm definitely seeing it. Alfie's, he'll be 6 this month, and I can already see how children need, obviously we all know this as parents, but the nurturing, but it's a different level of parenting, I think, in this generation, because we're so much more aware of it, and we have the tools and the knowledge to help make sure our children don't suffer. But when you're first time parent, with Alfie, I'm learning as he's growing. But I think it's just so important to have these tools to navigate through these really difficult times.
Will you share, more, if people aren't watching, what the book's about?
Right, so in a whole, her books are to help mental health, to help emotional resilience and self-belief, and all of those incredibly important tools to learn and grow with.
And I find, do you find as well, when I read to Lenny and I read him books about topics, he really takes in that information in a way that's so different if I'm just chatting to him.
Yeah.
They, with the storytelling, I think it comes alive to them more. And there's been so many times we'd talk about a topic and he would bring it up again from that way of storytelling.
Yes. Yeah. And obviously it's written in a way that's so careful, considerate for children. And Esther says at the beginning, I hope that after reading this book, you love yourself for who you are on the inside and out. Whatever anyone else says, you are you. Be proud of that. You are all special in your own way. Please celebrate that. I hope you enjoy this book and feel as though the Sophie Says crew are your friends too.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
That's really... and you know what?
I haven't let you take it.
I haven't read it to Lenny yet because I felt he's too young. I haven't, and now I know what I'm going to be doing tonight. You put something at the back of your cupboard until they're older, and that is just so beautifully said and so true. And, thank you for writing those books because, like you said, I think it's really important and it's really touched us.
Yeah.
And I think, as you said, being a mum and everything that comes alongside it in terms of mental health, having other people to look after, being able to look after yourself, if you have a partner, your partner. I know we've both experienced highs and lows, in the motherhood journey. And I've recently found someone on Instagram that has really inspired me. My other bestie, Sophie, shared her with me. She's called Anna Mathers, and she's a psychotherapist. And she shares practical advice from her own life as well as her career as a psychotherapist. Essentially, she's offering mental health advice for mums that are experiencing and normalizing issues that she's experienced as a mum and that many people experience that perhaps don't talk about. So something that really stood out to me recently that I read is about the noise, that noise of the kids tantruming, the dog barking, the TV being on, when it feels like when you're stressed, it's too much. And I like silence. I would sit in a silent office and I would sit and I'd be happy in silence. So it's something I personally can find really overwhelming at times in those moments of like pure chaos. When they're screaming, you don't want to scream back at them. And her suggestion is to use noise cancelling earphones or like an ear putty plug that you can put in to take the edge off. So I actually often walk around with one earphone in, like one Apple AirPod, because if I need to pick up a call and I'm like with the kids, and it does, and that's wearing one, I do notice it kind of just chills me out a bit. And how she says it, she says, turn the noise down. When stressed, you might find that noise can feel louder and abrasive. Use noise-reducing earplugs to lessen the sensory input and help noise feel more tolerable. And I thought that was just something that I've never, ever, ever seen. I've never read it before. And I thought it was a great tool to kind of share that it's okay to find it too much. You don't want to storm off, you don't want to scream, you don't want to walk away, but what can I do in that moment that's going to kind of take the edge off and make me feel that little bit better?
I love that. I think I might try and just walk around the whole time.
Life.
No one talk to me.
Do you know what? She's going to sit next to me in the office. She's going to put her noise reducing.
No, I think that's a really, really great tip because the noise sometimes can feel so overwhelming. It can really impact your mood, your energy, everything. So I love that.
Also, very quickly, I saw she's sharing the most amazing new concept. It's called the Mum Ribbon Movement. The ribbon tied to my bag says, I don't know why this has got me, you can ask me for a spare nappy, a hug or a chat if you feel lonely. It says I'm here if you need a not so random act of kindness. It says I'm open to offering you help if I'm having a tough time. It says I welcome your words of solidarity if you see me deep breathing in the high street. And I thought, wow, like those moments when you've been out and about and you're literally losing the will to live, if someone just came over to you and said, you got this, or like, I've got a spare packet of chocolate buttons if they're having a tantrum. And she sent a picture of all these women that have these rucksacks and they've tied a ribbon around it. Amazing. And I just thought that was amazing.
Thanks for sharing that. Well, I'm going to end by saying I started the episode saying I never cry. And now I'm an absolute mess. So there you go. That wraps up episode 9. I feel like we've gone on a real roller coaster today.
It's basically just a day in the life of Sarah and Philippa. We're up, we're down, we're high, we're low, and we're real.
But thank you as always for listening, for enjoying. Please send in messages of anything that you feel like you would like us to discuss, because we keep receiving amazing DMs from you saying that you feel like you're part of our chat. Whether you're taking the dog for a walk, you're doing the cooking, you just feel like you're like catching up with your friends with us. So we want to involve you in the chat. So DM us and we will discuss anything that you would like us to discuss.
And thank you always for listening and for supporting. It means the world.